Dream BBQ is a chaotic mess of unique fetch quests and amazing character designs. It is a game with only one chapter out right now, but there are still multiple routes you can take to get to the end of it. The ending is the same each time, but depending on the route you take, it might cost you an arm or a leg. Literally.
This hectic game was made by Mr. Joel G. and his team, who are simply called the Ena Team. Joel G., if you somehow didn't know, is a Peruvian animator that's been around for the past decade, with his magnum opus being the game that we are going over right now. As a brief history, this game spawned from the Ena series, which started all the way back in May of 2020 with the episode of Auction Day, which led to a few other episodes and eventually this game, which took almost 3 years of development in total. People were quick to fall in love with the crazy reality of multilingual characters taking many different odd shapes and sizes, and watching Enna navigate her way through a world which makes little to no sense to most viewers.
Each episode of the series seeming to have its own continuity, not really affecting or connecting to the other individual episodes. And that definitely seems to be the case with the game as well. This includes each episode and the part of the game that we're able to see, not having many recurring characters. Very similar to the game, every other episode of the series is Ena traversing multiple different maze-like places and doing multiple different fetch quest-like activities. With that brief little explanation out of the way, we shall move on to the meat and potatoes of the game.
In this game, Enna is tasked by Froggy to wake up and get back to work. After meeting this Froggy, you find out that the job today is to find the boss, presumably to kill him. It is not directly stated, but it is decently heavily implied that you're gonna kill him. Now, so far, the game presents us with its own new take on the Ena art style and sound design, as well as soundtrack. This, along with Enna herself getting a brand new set of personalities and replacing the previous set that we have seen in the past set being happiness, sadness, maskedness, demon mode, presumably, and just freaking the fuck out, aka static mode. In the game, you seem to only have two real emotions, that being corporate lackey, aka people pleaser, and then hardass, a straight to the point personality that summons a megaphone. There's also a distraught side seen later on.
Now, speaking of Froggy again, he gives you your first quest of the game, which is to get rid of the smoke that's filling the area constantly, so that you don't suffocate when you're trying to get to the boss. That has you going to the only door that's available to you, the lonely door. Going through that door, you gain a mental itch telling you that you need to go to the bathroom. The bathroom not being just a toilet, but some sort of special place. This is where the game really starts, having to go from person to person and exploring while doing individual fetch quests, at least in one of the routes. To make it less confusing, we'll divide each individual route and keep it somewhat short. You have Route 1, where you help everyone you can. You're rewarded with a board member's head, that you can grow this board member to reach various different places, across or high.
Now, as you make your way up, you get swallowed by a giant head, seemingly killing you and leading you to the afterlife. This is where all routes converge, so we will be going over to Route 2 now. Route 2 is going to the Purge event via Taxi Man, where you sacrifice an arm and enter some sort of dance club where you get drugged by gas, turned into a dog, and then eaten. You then end up in the same afterlife as mentioned earlier. Now, splitting three routes into two, all roads will lead to Rome here, but it comes down to either making it across the river or not. If you fail to cross, you will be taken to an area with many houses inside of castle walls, and you will have to find the right house and eventually be led to the spot where the genie once was. Even though the genie is gone, it will still lead you to the source of the smoke. Now, on the other route, you'll cross the river of vomit and you will find the genie. He will heal all of your wounds and temporarily ascend you to being an angel before realizing you're Enna, telling you to piss off and that you only get one wish. Of course, the only real answer that you can select here is wishing to get rid of the smoke.
After finding the source of the smoke, you beat the shit out of the robot producing it, and head to the final part of the chapter, where no matter how fast you travel, you'll succumb to the rain rocks. You succumb to them after finding the lonely door and realizing that it's closed for good. After being mostly consumed, Ena will rip herself out of her own body and shoot out as one of the mannequin people you see throughout the game. This mannequin is seen being grabbed by a giant orange hand after falling into a binary pit, and is magically transported to the hub and rebuilt on the spot. Here you can see Froggy arguing with Dracula before they both spot Ena.
Now, with the premise out of the way, let's move on to our actual review of the game thus far with Chapter 1 out. We are going over 4 pieces of criteria, that being character design, level design, sound design, and gameplay. We'll be starting off with character design. The character design right off the rip, we will give a 10 out of 10 score, and that is because it just works. In the words of Mr. Todd Howard, it really does just work phenomenally for this game, with each character having its own unique personality blending seamlessly with its voice acting or sounds and into the environment of the game. There wasn't a single time where a character seemed out of place, which you would think that'd be ironic for a world as chaotic as this one, and yet everyone feels in place regardless, even despite the difference in animation, art style, and species. Even the less noteworthy characters were quite interesting to look at and hear from.
Moving on to level design, we're going to give it a very solid 9 out of 10. Not quite 10 out of 10 because we feel like there could have perhaps been more platforming in our platforming game. Other than that, it was a semi-open world level design with enough to keep you constantly busy and grab your attention every minute that you were around. And despite having many open areas, you were never lost for very long, if you ever did get lost at all. The only other thing I would mark down is that the secrets were a little too hard to find. Actually, scratch that. They were incredibly difficult to find, at least for us. Right now, I am currently at a rate of 1 supporter edition secret dog and 1 achievement per hour as of writing this video. Sliding over to the next topic, we have sound design, which we give it another 10 out of 10. There was not a single moment where the sound design didn't fit the game perfectly or sounded bad, except for those random sounds making me look around, hoping for more secrets. Damn you, silent ass dogs!
Lastly, we have gameplay, which we are going to give an 8 out of 10. Another solid score, but we docked a couple points because we believe that there could have been slightly more to do throughout each section of the chapter. Though there were no major problems such as bugs or crashes, at least for us, and as far as we could tell from Steam reviews, most other people didn't have significant problems either. It seems that as long as your PC is not absolutely fucking ancient, you should be fine. We shall now move on to the final scoring of this game thus far.
Now, as for a final rating of the game overall, 5 out of 10. I don't care how good your game is. Look at the name of the channel. Do you think you were going to have fun listening to this review? I'll find a reason to hate it. First of all, female protagonist. That's a diversity hire. I don't want no...
Ahem. Anyways, for the actual scoring, we're going to give this game a 9 out of 10. Have a good day. Consider getting the game and supporting the devs through the supporter edition. Oh, and of course, like and subscribe if you enjoyed our little review.
And the game's free! I hate poor people!